You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. So, Toy Story 5. Could you believe it? They actually made 5 of these movies. Actually, like most people, I think the let me just get the obvious out of the way. So we'll say what everybody else says. They should have just ended it after the third one. The third one was the most perfect closure to this trilogy, to this series, to this franchise. It was a. I know people overuse this word, but I think it's appropriate here. The third one was a perfect movie. Which something that goes to except for the first Toy Story film, Toy Story movie, whatever you want to call it. The second one is really good. I love it. I don't think I love it as much as the first one, but to me, the third Toy Story is categorically, definitively a perfect movie. And then they made a fourth one, which is good. It's the weakest of the 4 Toy Story movies that I've seen so far, but this thing, it has the potential to be almost as good as, at the very least, the second one, the very most, the third one. I don't know what I'm going to get. Obviously, like I said, I'm a huge fan of this franchise. I practically grew up with this. The first one came out when I was 2. The second one is one of the first few movies I actually remember seeing in the theater. And of course, I had the original one on VHS. Yes, I'm that old. And I mean, practically grew up with Andy just around the time that the third one came along. And then, of course, we got a whole new continuation of the story with Bonnie. And now we're getting a new chapter in this series with all the favorite characters coming back. So, yeah, hope it's good. Hope it's at least as good as the last one. Which, like I said, it was really good, just not on the same level as the other 3. But it could be better. Let's wait and see. I'll talk to you when I come out of it. Goodbye for now. This isn't flying, this is falling with style. Toy Story 5. What can I say except Pixar did it again? I don't know what it is about this franchise, but for whatever reason, I know Pixar hasn't been having the best years lately with some of their movies, especially with some of their sequels. But I don't know, this franchise, the Toy Story franchise, just feels untouchable, unbeatable. Like, it can do no wrong. Yes, maybe the fourth one wasn't as good as the other 3 that came before it, but it's still pretty good. Like, it's a really good movie by any metric. This movie is better, a lot better. It's not, I wouldn't necessarily say it's as good as the first one or the third one, but it's about as good as the second one. Right now, if I had to rank the Toy Story movies, I'd say the best one is the third. The second best is the first Toy Story movie. Then number 2, then number 5, and then number 4. Number 4 is, like I said, clearly the weakest of the bunch. But depending on how the next few years go and how many times I rewatch all the movies, I might actually rank this one above the second one. I might. I'm not saying I would, but like I said, this is about as good as the second one. And actually, come to think of it, this movie actually brings a whole new context to the second one in ways I can't explain too much without spoiling. All I'll say is it's in the trailers. Watch the trailers again. Maybe you'll get what I'm getting at. Like this movie almost makes the second one better, which I never really thought could be possible. I never thought the second one could get any better than it is, but this movie just it revitalizes the franchise. I guess that's one way of saying it. Like, just it never ceases to amaze me how creative and imaginative the team behind this movie can just continue to reinvent themselves and just tell great stories about toys, for crying out loud. So yeah, it's an incredible achievement, this movie. Now, I think I might have said this when I reviewed the fourth one. You can definitely feel the absence of John Lasseter. I remembered his name. You can definitely feel the absence of John Lasseter in the fourth one. Not in this one. Pete Docter, and yes, that's the guy's name, he nailed it this time around. Where I think the fourth one was where he was kind of trying to get his feet wet, replacing John Lasseter. Less said about him, the better at this point, I think. I understand why they didn't bring John Lasseter back for the fourth one. I understand that. I get that. Pete Docter had huge shoes to fill. I think he did a decent job on the fourth one. He nailed it on the fifth one. And I would gladly watch 10 more Toy Story movies if Pete Docter is at the helm. However, this kind of brings up a bit of a negative for this movie, that it's negligible, it's nitpicky, but I feel it's worth pointing out. Some of the main toys, the main group of toys that we've grown to attach to, or we've grown to like over the years, especially from the first three, like Mr. Potato Head and Rex and Slinky and Ham, they're all in this movie, kinda, but they're barely in it. Like, I know that they're supposed to be side characters, but I mean, it kind of feels like they were shoved to the side to focus more on Jessie, Buzz, and Woody, and the new cast of characters right here on the bottom. But yeah, now obviously, Real World has its problems. Some of the voice actors of the original toys are no longer with us, unfortunately. I think they did a good job with what they had with the toys, but some of them don't even have speaking lines in this movie. And I mean, the fourth movie was all about Forky. I think he's the standout of that group of toys. He's got the most to do, but that isn't much to do at all. And I think her name was Karen Beverly or something like that. The knife wife that they gave him, she's just there for comedic support. Like, she's got almost no character at all. We had this huge character development with Forky in the fourth one. You'd think they do the same with the knife wife. But no, there's next to nothing with her, which kind of sucks. But like I said, the main focus of the movie: Woody, Buzz, Jessie. Where's Bullseye? Oh yeah, and Bullseye, and of course Lily Pad, which we've all seen in the trailers. I would even go so far as to say that this is Jessie's movie. Like, the fourth one was the ultimate send-off for Woody. I still feel kind of bad that it kind of feels sometimes like they're shortchanging Buzz. This Buzz specifically, the Buzz from the first three movies, because there was a second Buzz in the second movie, and as you probably may have seen in the trailers, there's a whole army of Buzzes or Buzz Lightyears in this movie. So yeah, you can't say Buzz doesn't get enough screen time, but I complained in the last movie that they kind of made him a bit of the butt of a joke. It kind of feels like they're doing the same in this movie. They do give him a little bit more to do in this movie than the previous one, which I like. But I think Buzz's best appearance in all the Toy Story movies was the second one. That, I think, was the peak of the Buzz Lightyear, helped by the fact that there were two of them. it bothers me a little bit how they're shortchanging Buzz. However, they did give him a bit of an arc in this movie, which I like. Okay, I appreciate it. You know, some people said that it's kind of pointless to bring Woody back, and to be fair, it kinda is. It feels like they only brought Woody just to be the counter for Buzz, just to capitalize on the back and forth between these two characters. I mean, these two characters built the franchise, the Toy Story franchise. You can't have a Toy Story movie without Woody and Buzz arguing. But like I said, they kind of feel like side characters in this movie. Jessie is the one that carries this movie. Jessie is incredible in this movie. I love her in this movie especially, and same thing goes for Bullseye. I think this might even be Bullseye's best movie, better than the second one. Saddens me to say this, but you can almost kind of write Woody completely out of the movie, and barely anything changes. I still love Woody in this movie. I love the voice of Tom Hanks in this movie, mixing with Tim Allen's voice for Buzz, but he's kind of redundant. That's it for Woody and Buzz. Like I said, Jessie's the standout in this movie. This guy, Smarty Pants. That's his name, literally. That's his name. He's the perfect example of a character you'd think would get on your nerves very quickly and get very boring very fast, and you kind of want him out of the movie. Didn't happen for me. It's voiced by Conan O'Brien. I love this guy. He's my favorite new character in this movie. I like him. I like him a lot. And the same thing goes for his two friends here. Hold on. Blicky and Atlas, I think their names are. They're cool. There's some really cool cameos in this movie as well. But I mean, like I said, Smarty Pants, my favorite character in this movie. And Jessie, the absolute standout. Lily Pad, though, I like what they did with her, and without spoiling too much, it kind of feels like they're veering into the new direction of the same thing they had in the first movie, where the villain isn't exactly the villain. I kind of miss the days where you had a perfectly defined villain in these movies. I mean, clearly, the first movie, Sid Phillips, he's a bad kid. He's the perfect villain for that type of movie. The Prospector in the second movie, and what's his face, Newman, the chicken guy from the second movie. They're clearly well defined bad guys, and Lotso Hagenbear in the third one. The fourth one, what was her name? The Sally doll? Whatever the name of the doll. See, I don't even remember her name. That tells you something. What they did with her as the villain by the end, Lily Pad kind of feels like a better version of that. Like they kind of tried to do the same thing that, she's a bad guy, but then, oh no, she's not a bad guy. To use the quote from Wreck-It Ralph. She's a bad guy, but she's not a bad guy. If you catch my meaning. I think it was done better with Lily Pad than with that doll in the fourth movie. Oh, but the biggest negative I'd say about this movie, which also concerns Lily Pad, I kind of feel like it's a rehash of Inside Out 2. That's all I can say without spoiling. I mean, I like what they did with her character in this movie, but I feel like I've already seen that about 2 years ago with Inside Out 2. This might be recency bias, but I think I like this movie more than Inside Out 2. I definitely prefer the first Inside Out movie, but it kind of feels like Lily Pad is not just the better version of the doll from the fourth Toy Story movie, it's also the better version of the doll of Anxiety from the Inside Out 2 movie. It'll make sense once you watch the movie, that's all I can say without spoiling, but here's the thing. Like I said, Pixar did it again. They have a moment. You know these moments in the Toy Story, in Pixar movies The moments of like Anton, what's his face, the restaurant critic, when he eats the dish that Remy the rat prepared for him, and gets thrown back to his childhood. You know, a Bing Bong sacrifice from Inside Out, the first one. Those moments, the Jesse's abandonment in the second Toy Story movie, and like, you know, these moments in Pixar movies that just break you, break you to pieces, get you teary-eyed, and you cry in the movie theater like a 1-year-old. There is one in this movie, and it really caught me off guard. And just thinking about it, I'm starting to get a little teary-eyed. But I mean, it's a moment. It broke me. My jaw was on the floor. I had tears in my eyes, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So yeah, if you were wondering, Pixar still got the magic, and the magic sauce is the Toy Story franchise. Yeah, man, I can't believe that. I thought they ended it perfectly with the Toy Story 3. I mean, hell, the incinerator scene. That's the kind of moment I'm referring to. The incinerator scene from the Toy Story 3. I thought they nailed it perfectly. It was the perfect ending for this franchise. And the third one, like a lot of people did. The fourth one kind of shows that there's more stories to tell, and this franchise can go on. This one kind of made me think, I want more. I want more Toy Story movies. There's so much you can do with this franchise, so much untapped potential that they haven't even scratched the surface with the concept of toys, and now the concept of toys getting passed on, you know, from Andy to Bonnie, from the third one, and you know, just toys are forever. The kids grow up, but the toys are forever, and it's a very powerful message in this movie. I love the message. Might not be the type of message you're probably thinking of if you only watch the trailers, but this movie, perfect. Chef's kiss. Not perfect as in a perfect movie like I said about the third one, but you get what I mean. Anyways, I really love this movie. I would happily see this again. Yeah, and I'd happily see a Toy Story 6, Toy Story 7, like, just keep it going. Keep it going for as long as Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, and Joan Cusack, I believe, voices Jessie. Keep this franchise going for as long as these three wonderful actors can voice the characters. And hell, I mean, I think Tom Hanks' son voiced Woody in one of the Lego games. So, yeah, they can keep this franchise going till the end of eternity. And I'll still be watching them. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. And always remember, you have got a friend in me. Goodbye. Hello again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment. See you next time.